Now, from the action center of the Twin Cities, News 11 with Paul Majors, Diana Pierce, Tom Ryther on sports, and meteorologist Paul Douglas.
He's known as the Angel of Death, Joseph Mengele, a man who became a symbol of Nazi evil. He did medical experiments on twins, operations often without anesthesia, hoping to perfect a master race. It's also said he personally selected 400,000 people to die in gas chambers during World War II. And tonight, the world may be on the brink of knowing whether Dr. Joseph Mengele is dead or alive.
Some believe a body exhumed today in Brazil is that of Mengele.
That body was buried in 1979 near Sao Paulo, and late today, 3 gravediggers opened the grave in a small cemetery as a crowd looked on. Bones and shreds of clothing were removed by hand and placed in a coffin. Brazilian police say they're certain these are the remains of Mengele, that they have documents and a diary that support their case. But at least one famous Nazi hunter disagrees.
Who can be sure? But I would say 99%.
It'll take at least 15 days before a positive identification can be made. Marty?
All of the talk of Joseph Mengele brings some painful memories for many people. Henry Ortelt remembers Mengele. His arm still bears an ID number tattooed during the war. He remembers Mengele's experiments.
At one time they chose about 40 Jewish boys that arrived on a new transport, and they purposely chose a mixture of blue-eyed and dark-eyed kids, and they would, he tried to transplant corneas.
A reward of $3.5 million is still offered for anyone who finds Mengele. That reward still stands if the body found today is that of someone else.
A Twin Cities woman is on her way to Mexico tonight, hoping to return with the body of her missing husband. John Walker has been missing since January, and as Melissa Young reports, his wife Eve has heard Mexican authorities may know more than they're telling her.
Just a few moments, I'll be ready to begin passenger boarding on flight number 307 on stop service to Los Angeles.
Eve Walker is going to Mexico again, hoping this time to return with some answers. Her husband, John Walker, has been missing from Guadalajara since January 30th. Yesterday, Eve learned Rafael Carl Quintero, one of Mexico's major drug traffickers, has been charged with her husband's abduction and murder.
We were told that they could not indict these people for homicide because they hadn't found John and Al, but they did indict them for homicide, and that leads me to believe that they know more than they've told us.
On past trips to Mexico, Eve has learned only bits and pieces of what may have happened to her husband.
When somebody dies in an accident, you can begin to recover. We've been 4 months just finding this much out, and we still don't have them. You know, we still can't bring them home.
That is the one thing she hopes to accomplish this time, to bring John home. Some of her contacts in Mexico have told her unofficially the authorities know where John's body is. She can only hope they're not misleading her again. Melissa Young, News 11 at Twin Cities International.
Tonight, elderly residents of 924th Avenue remain concerned for their safety. 68-year-old William Growett was found in his apartment in this high-rise Tuesday afternoon, beaten to death. Now the doors remain locked day and night, but there haven't been any guards on duty, and that troubles some of the residents.
We would like to have guards. We've had them from time to time. Wasn't successful, but some already have them, but we don't yet.
Now there are plans to add some guards, and police say they are still unable to explain the crime after 2 days of investigation. They do say, however, that the beating weapon may have been a 20-gauge shotgun. Minneapolis police made 7 arrests tonight, part of an ongoing effort to clean up downtown of transients. Some of those arrested tonight are former members of Hell's Angels who have outstanding felony warrants. Some say they're just travelers who aren't doing anything wrong.
Do you have a home?
Yes, I do.
Where?
In this backpack.
Where are you from?
Beaumont, Texas. B-A-U-M-O-N-T. Roll the camera.
What are you doing up here?
Roll the camera.
It is.
Traveling.
Police say those arrested come from all around the country.
Efforts to find a 13-year-old Otter Tail County girl came to the Twin Cities today. Self-proclaimed psychic George Ward distributed posters with Sarah Reardon's picture on them. Ward has also tried to use psychic abilities to find Sarah, but police have been skeptical of that. Sarah has been missing since May 20th, and there are few clues as to what happened to her. Two telephone repairmen are being hailed as heroes tonight for preventing a tragedy. A mother and her 3 children are alive and well thanks to 2 Northwestern Bell employees. They were rescued by the 2 after fire broke out at the family's home.
We just happened to be there, and I had that long ladder off the phone truck, and really, you know, anybody would have had everything right there would have done the same thing, really, you know.
Fire is believed to have been started by a short in an extension cord.
2 people are in the hospital tonight after a 4-car crash in Minnetonka. One of the cars apparently failed to yield at a road construction area. The accident led to a dramatic rescue. Tom Kirby has more.
The sounds of construction were drowned out at the accident scene by sounds from a piece of equipment known affectionately as the jaws of life. Getting Rena Anderson of Minneapolis out of the car in which she was a passenger moved in pieces. First, trying to pry open the car door so medical help could reach her. Then, figuring out how to get her out of the back seat. The front windshield had to be knocked in, and a chain wrapped around the front seat so it could be forced away from Anderson's leg. The 84-year-old woman wasn't seriously injured, but she had a badly swollen forehead and a banged-up leg. At the hospital, she's listed in good condition. Police at the scene told us she's a victim of construction along Highway 12. Confusion among the cones that are set to control traffic is what started the chain collision. Officers told us they're braced for a full summer of irritated, confused drivers and a long summer of collisions like today's as drivers try to find their way through the construction maze. Tom Kirby, News 11, along Highway 12.
A chlorine gas leak at a YWCA swimming pool in Brainerd sent 60 children to a hospital today. 51 of them were kept in the hospital for observation for a few hours. The rest are in satisfactory condition tonight. They are all between 5 and 14 years of age.
Despite attempts to stop the proceedings, a former Scott County sex abuse case defendant gave her testimony today. Cindy Buchanan is 6 months pregnant, and her attorney tried to stop today's session for health reasons. But a judge ruled against that, so today Buchanan gave her deposition at her physician's office. Today's session was part of the investigation into Scott County Attorney Kathleen Morris. There is finally some movement tonight in the log jam at the state capitol.
Yes, and Mary Stuckey is live from St. Paul and has that story for us. Good evening, Mary.
Well, one of 3 major spending bills that sent this legislature into overtime appears to be very close to agreement tonight. It's the bill that funds public schools in Minnesota. IRs and DFLers have been arguing about money for an arts high school in this bill. They've also been arguing about funding for special education. But it's expected there could be agreement on the bill tonight. Also, as of today, lawmakers agreed to most of a tax cut package. They're waiting for figures from the welfare bill, which is still stalled. Also still stalled right now is a bill to fund state agencies in Minnesota. It'll be at least next week before the governor could call a special session. And some people who rely on state government in Minnesota are up in the air. That's 4,500 teenagers who'd expected to start work on summer jobs on Monday, but the money for those jobs, well, it's tied up here at the legislature. Back to you.
All right, Mary. Mary Stuckey reporting live. Things came alive after 5 tonight in downtown Minneapolis. The first of 4 so-called Alive After 5 concerts added a jazzy note to the evening at Peavey Plaza. Tonight's outdoor concert featured Patty Peterson.
Well, you left me with your keynote card, and this life in Vegas sure made it hard. I ran it up to about 50 grand, cashed it in and held it in my head.
One of the 5 remaining Frustacy septuplets lost his battle for life today. James, known at first as Baby B, died of cardiac and respiratory failure. Doctors say the baby, who weighed less than 1.5 pounds, died in his father's arms. The 4 other babies are still in intensive care.
Topping Datelines tonight, the end of a southern swing. President Reagan wrapped up his trip to the South in Birmingham today. At a fundraiser, he again called for support for his tax reform package, and he called on Congress to give aid to Nicaraguan rebels. Deliberations will begin tomorrow in the retrial of Klaus von Bülow. In final arguments today, the defense called charges that von Bülow tried to kill his wife monstrous, something drummed up by a hostile servant, stepson, and an angry mistress. The prosecution says the evidence proves otherwise, that Sonny von Bülow's irreversible coma is no accident. And in New York City, a noisy demonstration today by striking hotel workers. Clerks, kitchen workers, and other employees have been off the job for 6 days now, and there is no end in sight for the strike. Management personnel are filling in, but the lines are long.
We've had some wonderful weather for the last couple of days, but I have a sneaking suspicion from Barry Finn that we better be geared up for the weekend.
Things are going to change. We've been hearing a lot about the heat in the southeast. Well, we're not expecting anything that bad. We're not going to go to 105, 110 or something like that. But it does look like we have a heat wave headed toward the Twin Cities, so you better check the air conditioners, get plenty of lemonade or iced tea or whatever, stock up because it's on its way. Take a look at today. We had lots of sunshine and it got nice and warm this afternoon. We got up to a high of 83. The overnight low was 51. We've had no rainfall. A few scattered showers here or there, but they've been highly isolated. It's mostly cloudy right now, 73. Southerly winds bringing in that warm air at 15. Dew point 48 and humidity. I'll say it one more time. Nice and low, 41%. Enjoy it. It's about to change. Pressure 29.91, and it's rising right now. Take a look at some afternoon highs. And once again, the southeast and the Gulf Coast states, we're sweltering. Augusta got up to 103, Tallahassee 105, hundreds, 90s. But look out west because things are starting to change. Look at this, 110s. There were readings as high as 116, 117 in portions of the desert southwest. And you can see the hundreds, the 90s. Look at this patch of 90s over much in Nebraska. Take a guess where that's headed. The Twin Cities, did you say? You may be right. Let's take a look at this evening because it's a nice, pleasant evening out there. Here in the Twin Cities, 75 up at International Falls, a bit cooler with cloud cover and some light drizzle, 59. Basically, temperatures in the upper 60s to mid-70s, a few scattered showers, most of the moisture, though, staying down to our south. We'll take a look at the satellite photograph, and you can see a lot of breaks in the clouds. Nothing really significant as it all passes through. A few heavier showers up in northwestern Minnesota. But the big stuff is all to our south, and it's going to stay to our south and then finally move off to the east. There is the big picture. We're getting into these clear skies right here. We will be watching this system right here, though, starting to get organized, and we'll probably have to deal with that come Saturday night and Sunday. Tomorrow, though, high pressure, sunshine, and look at this big blob. Hot, hotter, 114 or 15 in the desert southwest, but close to 90s approaching the Twin Cities. We'll put that all together with a forecast, tell you how hot it's going to get right after this. Right about now, you may be asking, where are the showers and thunder showers if you had to take out the hose and water the garden? Take a look at Doppler 11, and it doesn't show much at all. A few little dots scattered here and there. The bulk of the rain all over in Wisconsin, and even that, still just shower and thunder shower activity on the light side. Take a look at the computer. Now, the computers have been telling us since about noon today that these 90-degree readings are going to make it into much of 11 country, including the Twin Cities on Saturday. And you can see even some hundreds over parts of Nebraska. I just had a brief peek at the newest computer that just came out, and that not only verifies this, but takes those temperatures up a few degrees. So it could get quite hot here come Saturday. Be prepared for it. Let's take a look at the forecast for tonight. It'll be a nice, pleasant night. Basically cloudy, partly cloudy. It'll become partly cloudy and mild. Perhaps an isolated shower. Most of that being off to the north and northeast of the Twin Cities. Daybreak temperatures in the cities about 60. They'll range from 57 to 62. Partly to mostly sunny tomorrow, breezy and warmer. Afternoon highs here in the cities approaching 87. Woo! Saturday. Hazy, hot, humid. 92 degrees, but watch out because late Saturday night a cold front will arrive. Looks like the potential for some very severe thunderstorms to develop Saturday night in through Sunday, and it will cool back down on Monday. And, you know, we joke about the heat. The National Weather Service will have a heat index starting very shortly. We will carry it here because once you get the heat and humidity over a certain point, it gets very dangerous for the elderly, children, and other word of caution, everybody should stay tuned tomorrow for what's going to happen Saturday night. We'll keep a close watch on it, but there's a potential for some heavy thunderstorms.
Okay. Right. Thanks, Barry.
Still to come, a unique reunion and an unusual graduation rite.
And we'll show you how an 8th grader won the National Spelling Bee. All that when we come back. Late word tonight that Minneapolis police have cracked what they say is a major fencing operation working in the area. 2 people were arrested tonight at the South Minneapolis home. They say more arrests will likely follow. So far, police have confiscated guns and police scanners, as well as a large amount of what is believed to be stolen goods. Police had been watching the suspects for several days and had seen a lot of property being moved in and out of the home. The suspects are being held on burglary charges.
Another night of celebration for graduating seniors. Robbinsdale Cooper Senior High was one of the schools to hold commencement exercises tonight. This is the 21st class to graduate from Cooper, and 582 seniors did just that tonight. And over at Richfield High School, a similar scene full of pomp and circumstance. 410 students were graduated from Richfield tonight at the Met Center. So congratulations to every one of you.
And some graduates of days long past still get together each year to remember. The annual reunion of Minneapolis East High School grads is especially unusual. The school they went to closed 61 years ago. But the memories of their high school years haven't faded with time. Some of these people have attended every reunion, and all of these folks are at least 75. And a crazy student right in Duluth today, and they say it happens every year. Seniors at St. Luke's School of Nursing ran down a hill near their dorms, sang and danced in the middle of a busy intersection, and then ripped off their student uniforms. And the graduates tell us it's more fun than embarrassment.
A 13-year-old Illinois boy is celebrating tonight. 8th grader Bailu Natarajan of Chicago is the winner of the 58th Annual National Spelling Bee, winning the word milieu.
Marie Antoinette did not recognize that she lived in a milieu of unhappiness and revolt.
Milieu. M-I-L-I-E-U.
This was the third time at bat for this year's winner. Apparently that was the charm.
That word is easier to spell, however, than pronounce.
I don't know.
Well, still coming up in sports, a championship boxing match.
And the Twins should have had a day off today, but they didn't. Tom Ryther will have more on that when we come right back.
An agreement has been signed for the sale of a Twin Cities TV station. Nationwide Communications signed the papers today to buy KITN Television, Channel 29. Details of that agreement are not being released just yet. Right now, Beverly Hills Hotel Corporation owns KITN.
All you folks at home know when you get a day off, you really appreciate the day off. The Twins were expecting a day off, but got stuck working.
And right at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, this means you couldn't do anything in the morning, couldn't do in the afternoon, so the time was well placed. But Mickey Hatcher, I think, had the quote of the day when he came out on the Metrodome field today and said to all the media members, "I didn't know you guys had a mandatory work day as well." Well, Hatcher was making a fun reference to the media gathering there to attend a rare mandatory Twins off-day practice in the wake of their deepening slump. The workout was brisk, the players serious, they know they're in a dilemma. And I asked Billy Gardner about his team meeting. What style does he follow when he has a meeting?
Well, more or less Paul Richards type. Paul was very, had a lot of patience, calm, and he never singled anybody out. I think when you talk to the players, I don't think you like to single anybody out in a meeting. I think you just go around talking general about the whole ball club and doing the little things to win ball games, doing the things you're capable of, doing the things you're not capable of, and this type of meeting I ran.
Paul Richards, a former legendary manager in the major leagues. He's talking about, okay, let's go now to the scoreboard. Toronto over Detroit 2-0. And would you believe Detroit is now like 7 games out of first place? Jim Key lost a no-hitter in the 9th inning. Cleveland over Seattle. Milwaukee defeated the Yankees 5-1. Chicago and the Texas, they are tied 1-1. And we go now to the National League, and we have Chicago Cubs over Pittsburgh by a score of 3-2. That took 12 innings to decide. College baseball's Elite 8 teams are battling in the College World Series at Omaha. The nation's #1 ranked Oklahoma State Cowboys, who defeated the Gophers in the regional tournament, had to win tonight to stay alive in the double elimination extravaganza. And there you see the score in the 8th inning. Miami of Florida is leading 2-1. There was no score in the 5th inning when Oklahoma State's Carlos Diaz hit that solo home run, made it 1-0, but Miami has gone ahead by a score of 2-1. The game is in the 8th inning. Other teams still alive are Mississippi State, Arkansas, and the winner tonight along with the University of Texas. College baseball, great sport. Pro boxing always seems to come up with about 4 title events each month. Thus, we have several organizations who claim world champions in at least a half-dozen divisions. Well, Don King staged 3 such title fights tonight in Las Vegas. The top fight pitted light heavyweight champion Michael Spinks against Jim McDonald in a battle of the unbeatens. Watch this now. This is in the 8th round. And Spinks got him there and popped him in the nose. Now, McDonald had been knocked down twice earlier. He got up to come back, but he knows his nose is broken. And that meant the fight. Didn't mean a pun there, by the way, but that's how it ended. Busted nose in the 8th round. As expected, Martina Navratilova and Chris Evert Lloyd won their French Open tennis matches today at Paris. So that means that they will meet in the finals on Saturday. And Chiefs Crown is the installed favorite of the 117th Belmont Stakes at New York. Chiefs Crown was third in the Kentucky Derby and second in the Preakness, so that means don't bet on Chiefs Crown.
All right, thanks, Tommy. Coming up, the Prep Sports Extra.
Yes, our extra slot is once again turned over to high school tournament play, and there's plenty of it, so you'll want to stay with us. We'll be right back.
Once again, it's an absolutely crazy night for high school sports.
Just about every kind of tournament action to be found tonight, so Tom Ryther and Jeff Passold have had a busy evening, and they have it all for us.
All sorts of stuff again, Paul and Marty. We start off tonight's Prep Sports Extra with high school golf in the final round of the Class AA tournament at Majestic Oaks Golf Club in Ham Lake.
All right, Jeff, golf, I've heard of that game. Wilmer won the girls' team title by 3 strokes over Burnsville. And here are the top 3 medalists. Woodbury's Kate Hughes took individual honors with a 2-round total of 154. That's 10 over par. Moorhead's Kenda Campbell was 14 strokes back in second. And Burnsville sophomore Kelly Ross was third. Hughes was in command the whole way. The Woodbury senior came in with a score of 37 on the front side this morning at Majestic Oaks, and from there coasted to victory. Hughes, who is headed to the University of Minnesota, admits that finishing 4th last year made her realize what it would take to win this year.
I had the killer instinct, I guess. I had a lot of confidence going in, more so than I had the past 2 years. And what I really want to do is win it, no matter what it took.
On the boys' side of the AA tournament, Mankato West took the team title by 15 strokes over Edina. And here are the top finishers from the boys' portion. Chaska's John Young won first place with a 2-round total of 148. And in second, a 2-way tie between Steve Chesley of Mankato West. And how do you say that kid's last name there?
Passold.
Oh, that's Ricky Passold out of Edina, my cousin. Nice going, Ricky. Ooh. Young won the title with some steady play. The Chaska Junior carded identical 74s for both rounds of the tournament, sealing the victory with this short putt for par on the 18th hole.
I was in 4th after the first day, and I was happy about that, and I guess I was in perfect position, and then I played pretty well today. It seemed like nobody else got it on track today, but it was a tough day out there to play.
Now to the state high school boys tennis tournament. Today, the team championship was decided at the 98th Street Racket Club in Bloomington.
All right, the team title goes to St. Cloud Tech. Tech defeated White Bear Lake 4-1 to earn the team championship. And in third place today, Edina shut out St. Paul Academy 5-0. Highlights from that championship match. Tech rode the top-notch play of John Lauerman to their title. Lauerman in the far court defeated White Bear's Steve Wohlsfeld with some fine play. The individual championship play begins tomorrow at the 98th Street Club in Bloomington. And in St. Cloud today, the girls' Class A state softball tournament got underway.
Let's check the quarterfinal scores from this morning. Hoffman-Kensington beat Braham 5-4 early on this morning. Glencoe shut out Sartell 10-0. It was St. Bernard's 4-zip over Hermantown, and Casson-Manorville beat Mapleton 3-1.
All right, in semifinal action, we have St. Bernard's defeating Casson-Manorville 2-0, and Glencoe over Hoffman-Kensington by a score of 6-0. Highlights from the second game. Glencoe was a dominant force today with 2 shutouts. Now, this infield grounder by Pam Studeman scored Tricia Stockman, who beat the tag with that slide at the plate. Glencoe went on to win it 6-0 to advance to the Class A championship game tomorrow against St. Bernard's at 1 o'clock at St. Cloud.
So that means tomorrow night we'll be back here talking about the Class A softball championship, the start of the state track tournament, and the start of individual play at the boys' state tennis tournament.
I thought sure he'd have an interview with his cousin for taking second in the golf tournament. That does it for tonight's Prep Sports Extra. Paul, Marty, back to you.
Yeah, and just to set the record straight, Jeff, how many Passolds are there in the Twin Cities? 1,500 or 1,600?
I don't know. Boy, oh boy, the population would really be down if we weren't here, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Catch you later.
Terrific. Well, we do need to get an update from Barry Fenn, who's going to tell us what's going on with this weekend's weather.
Okay, as I said earlier, get the extra long deodorant pads ready, check out the air conditioners, take a look at what the computer is forecasting for Saturday's temperatures. Look at the 90s covering much of 11 country, hundreds just to our southwest. It is going to get hot. Tonight, partly cloudy and mild, an isolated shower at 57 to 62. Tomorrow, the heat wave begins, partly to mostly sunny, breezy, warmer, highs near 88, and Saturday, 92. Paul and Marty, and don't be surprised to see some heavy thunderstorms Saturday night as cold air moves into that warm air.
But at that point, we won't be so sorry to see the cold air.
Right.
Well, finally tonight, today marks the 41st anniversary of the Allied invasion of Europe in World War II. That invasion, involving more than 6,000 vessels of every size and description, took place on the French coast of Normandy. It was a complete surprise to the Germans and marked the beginning of the end for the Axis powers.
To all the vets who participated, a big salute.
Yes.
See you back here tomorrow.
Bye-bye.